Yeah, we in the cup, man, pull up, sit down. If it's stuck in your head, we gon' break that down. All the wild little thoughts that you try to hide on the mic, we crack them open, leave them all outside. Let's talk about it. If it's weird, if it's deep, if it's raw, don't doubt it. From the laughs to the pain you ain't speaking on, to the late night thoughts you been sleeping on. Let's talk about it. No cap, no filter, just truth around it. From the block.
Special report, Ed, and Eddy exposed. Those weren't jawbreakers. They were giant crack rocks. Good evening. Tonight's top story. A children's cartoon has been identified as a long-running documentary about addiction, hustling, and a spiritually abandoned cul-de-sac. This cartoon would be Ed, and Eddy. Parents thought it was slapstick. It was actually a hood tragedy with sound effects. Now let's go to some footage.
Our investigators began with the so-called jawbreakers. These objects are too large to be safely eaten. They're too hard to be actual candy, and they're too shiny to be trusted. Experts, a lot of experts around 2 a.m. have concluded that those were not jawbreakers. Actually, these were indeed actually giant crack rocks with branding. Observe the children's behavior. Extreme obsession, financial desperation, social collapse, public humiliation tolerance increasing every season. This is not a sugar craving. This is dependency. Back to you.
Every episode follows the same economic cycle. Eddy is broke. Eddy invents a scheme. Eddy convinces 2 very vulnerable associates to assist. The scheme fails, everyone suffers, and yet no one learns. This is not entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen. This is a closed-loop addiction economy. They do not save, they do not invest, and they do not leave the block. They only chase the next, quote, jawbreaker, quote. We've reached out to the cul-de-sac for a moment, but no adults were available for any kind of answers or questions. Oh, viewer extraction advised.
Watch how the children react when the jawbreaker appears. See, look, their eyes dilate, their voices tremble, and also, if you observe that one over there, their spines curve forward. Ladies and gentlemen, my survivor able to send this tape up. This is not excitement. This is prey responding to bait. Once consumed, these subjects experience shame, regret, consequences, and then they reset and do this thing all over again. Medical professionals call this a cycle. Cartoon Network called it programming. Back to you.
Wow, that was a very shocking clip from the actual cul-de-sac. I didn't think we actually got anything, to be honest. Anyway, let's talk about the environment of the cul-de-sac. There was, as I said, no visible parents, no supervision, no rules, and no escape. Apparently not for our anchor neither. Just kids wandering in circles for years. Urban planners would call this a design failure. Psychologists would call this neglect. We call it a spiritually condemned property. Residents show signs of chronic boredom, obsessive behavior, emotional dysregulation, and a total inability to leave the neighborhood. Back to you. These 3 subjects. These specific 3 subjects, ladies and gentlemen. Authorities have identified these 3 recurring figures as Eddy, the hustler, loud, insecure, addicted to money and validation. Shows very early signs of growing into a man who calls everybody a play. Double D, the overthinker. He knows it's wrong, does it anyway. This is how smart people normally end up in very dumb situations. And lastly, we have Ed, the escape artist. Mentally gone, physically very present. Coping through fantasy, horror, and disassociation. 3 trauma responses, 1 addiction. We also have the Canker sisters, who appear very frequently. Aggressive, boundaryless, trauma bonded. These are not love interests. as Cartoon Network led us to believe. These are unresolved issues with ponytails. Authorities recommended therapy. The show recommended laugh tracks. Now, why hide this in a cartoon, you may ask? Because animation is the safest place to put dangerous ideas. You hide dysfunction in slapstick. You hide addiction in candy. You hide trauma in comedy. The brain absorbs the pattern without triggering an alarm. That's not conspiracy, that's marketing. So tonight, I need you all to remember, Ed, and Eddy was not about candy. It actually was about addiction, neglect, hustling, and children surviving systems that have obviously failed them, but with sound effects. And this has been Channel 7 Hood News After Dark. Stay safe, stay suspicious, and if your neighborhood has a cul-de-sac with no adults, you might already be inside the episode. Good night.
Every subject that they duck, we gon' bring right here. Press play, let it ride, get lost in the vibe. It's that say what you feel every time we go live. If you tired of being quiet while your mind scream loud, and it's the podcast for the misunderstood crowd. So, let's talk about it.